Hi friends! My name is Erin Redden and I am your 2022 Canoga Christian Formation Gathering Coordinator. Welcome to such a time as this. I have been looking forward to gathering with all of my like-minded friends to discuss and collaborate things all year long. Hey Roger! It's so good to see you. Have you taken any pictures since you've been here? I can't wait to check them out. Post them later. Ruth, I just got done with Celtic spirituality and it really spoke to me. Let's grab a picnic table later and discuss a little bit of that. And Sarah, thank you so much for coming. I recently read your Building Faith article about what we need this summer. At the top of my list, rest. But what I really took away from that article was naming the seasons that you're in and naming your needs, really bringing it back to the basics. And that really fits our theme, such a time as this. Guys, obviously I'm not here with you, but I was asked to do this formation conference about 2.5, even 3 years ago, pre-COVID. And I was super excited. I had just got done leading a conference at Canoga with Christian Shell about welcoming everyone to the table. And when I was asked to join y'all again, I couldn't help but say yes right away. But boy, a lot of things changed. Let's circle back now to after COVID and me picking out a theme for where this year's conference. I know for some of you tried and true conference goers, this is a theme that may not be 100% new to you. A lot of people have spoke on it, but Esther's passage or Esther's verse in chapter 4, verse 14 really spoke to me. Coming off of some unusual, unprecedented times. For if you keep silence at such a time as this, relief and deliverance will rise from the Jews from another quarter, but you and your father's family will perish. Who knows? Perhaps you come to royal dignity for just a time as this. Who thought we'd be in the boat we've been in, guys? I really thought last school year was tough. I was on a cart. I teach elementary music full time, or did. You'll hear more about that in just a second. But I was on a cart going from classroom to classroom, teaching elementary music, not being able to actually use instruments or share materials. And it was just a mess. I was really at a loss for words, to be honest with you. But then this next school year, 2022, 2023, came upon us and I thought, well, anything after pushing a cart all year and being exposed to COVID is going to be better than last year. And I came to school and lo and behold, things were pretty crazy this year. In my 24 years of teaching elementary music at Beauregard Elementary School in Opelika, Alabama, I just experienced the toughest school year I have ever had. Behaviors were off the charts. The mental health of our students, our teachers, our admin, and our parents, quite frankly, was very questionable. Teachers that had taken on extra responsibility during downtimes of COVID were now juggling both all of our regular responsibilities plus those extra ones. Honestly, it was so much to deal with. This year was really, really difficult. But then I started planning this conference, and that was why I picked this theme. I hoped that it would invoke in all of you, like it did me, courage and hope. And putting our own thoughts maybe aside and thinking of everybody and all of God's creation as a whole, and using this unique time with Kanuga's theme of mind, body, and spirit, and kind of putting these things together and hoping that we'd all come away learning and hoping that we'd make a difference in the lives of those that we serve. Well, time kept on rolling this year, and I knew immediately who I wanted to invite to this year's gathering. I had had the pleasure of working before via retreat and via online retreat because of COVID with Reverend Callie Swanland. She helped me find my spark. Finding a spark these last 2 years was very difficult. She kind of helped guide me into rediscovering my place in my ministry and life and with my family and in school, but still encouraged me to dream dreams and just kind of focus on what was important. And I knew that Reverend Callie would have a lot to share with the people that came to Kanuga. And I wanted a partner for her, someone that could help balance out that mind, body, and spirit. And Dr. Westina Matthews is someone who I look up to very much. Her way of looking at contemplative living, creating a deeper relationship with God, that is what I longed for. That's the kind of things I wanted to hear at Kanuga this year. So when those two agreed to come together and work to lead this conference, I was thrilled. I had got my number one picks. And Ana Hernandez, I'm a musician. I'm a mezzo-soprano who studied music in college and have been teaching elementary music ever since. And I came across her music many years ago and found that her songs and chants brought me my busy, cluttered, messy, noisy mind to a place of calm and centered peace. And that was a place where I felt like I could commune with God. That music really centers me. Anna, thank you so much for agreeing to be at this conference. The Reverend Ryan Hawthorne, my good friend Roger that I gave a shout out to earlier, when I was looking for someone to help lead us on this spiritual journey, he said, I've got the perfect person. And while Reverend Ryan, I haven't really had a chance to bond or even get to know you, being recently ordained in such a time of these, oh my gosh, I admire you already. And it seems to me that you have a lot of fresh ideas and an approach to ministry and theology. So thank you for agreeing to be at this year's conference. To our other speakers, thank you. I can't wait to go back and read everybody's notes about the things that y'all have all had to offer. Now I kind of need to say why I'm not there. Well, it was a crazy year, and I've been doing a lot of things at school and at church and reopening things and rebuilding almost a ministry. Thank God most of my kids and families stayed with my program at church, and once we opened the doors back up at the elementary school, albeit a little too early, I think, things were hectic, things were busy. And then in such a time as these, I was offered a new position, something I wasn't even looking for, a position working with high school juniors and seniors. I never thought I'd work at the high school level. I'd always been working with elementary kids. But a friend reached out to me and said, when I needed to fill this position, a mentoring position with juniors and seniors who are identified as being at-risk kids, perhaps had a family member that was maybe incarcerated or lived with grandparents, or just didn't have a lot of food or money or resources. These are kids that want to succeed and want to move on, get jobs, and go to college. And my job is to work with them individually and in small groups to help prepare them for the real world. And what greater ministry is that than to feed these kids and give them what they need to be successful in life? So I'm in the middle of training right now for that new job. Currently, I am probably at home and asleep because I've just sat through a whole day of training in Montgomery to become a JAG specialist. JAG is Jobs for America's graduates. And this training just happened to fall during the middle of the conference. I've already done a week of VBS, and I'm also working at Beauregard Elementary School, hence all the music stuff in the background, until the end of June, running their summer programs as the administrator for their tutorial students in K through third grade. And then we have enrichment classes for our fourth graders and third graders. And I consider it an honor to be able to work with these kids and help to close those educational gaps that they have experienced because of COVID and because of the fact that we are a Title I school and we do have some hardships. So guys, I am busy working, and in true such a time as this, I can't be there with you guys at Canoga. Canoga is my thin place. Canoga is one of my favorite places in the world to be every year. And I'm just super, super duper sad. But I have an amazing team that is sitting amongst you right now. To my friends, Stella, Lisa, Reverend Jeff, Westina, Roger Hutchison, thank you so much for being a part of the planning team and for stepping up and helping when I just couldn't give y'all the resources that you needed from me. To Jimmy and Jane and Michael Sullivan at Canoga, thank you guys for continuing to open your doors to fill us with what we need. Mind, body, and spirit, there's no better place in the world to fill those buckets than at Canoga. And to Isaiah, my St. Thomas peep, who we would have ridden up there together to Canoga and spent lots of time rocking on the porch. Thank you, Isaiah, for being there. I know how hard you worked as a teacher this year, and thank you for representing our parish, St. Thomas in Columbus, Georgia, the Diocese of Atlanta. I love you, and I appreciate you being there. Finally, to my mentors, my role models, my besties, the people that have made me the Christian formation leader that I am today, and just downright good human, or at least I hope so most of the time. Don't ask my husband, my kids, anybody else. Kathy Graham, Jackie Bodecker, and Cookie Cantwell, y'all are my hearts. Y'all are who I went to when I struggled with the fact that I could not be there, and y'all encouraged me to continue to be on this journey with you, even if I'm several hundred miles away. And thank you for picking up the reins and for moving forward to make this conference happen. I wish all of you peace, love, and joy. And guess what? Who knows? Maybe we were meant for this time, this place, and this moment to walk in Jesus's footsteps and be his hands and feet. I miss you guys. I hope to be there next year. Have fun.